And the Bulldog clock then comes out. So I'd imagine Spirit Breaker probably going to go into the support position. I wouldn't be surprised if Mad plays it, because obviously Magicka are a fan of the heroes like the Night Stalker, very kind of aggressive, roaming, bullyish heroes. Now I kind of feel that Spirit Breaker feels very much the play style of Mad as a player.
It can be really good too when you're against these kind of Disruptor Witch Doctor supports that you kind of make them cast spells on you by just charging. So you're either going to get glimpsed or you're going to get a cask, and that means that your queen can run rampant in the team fight. Whatever position one you have can kind of do the same. It's just nice to be able to make the supports focus on you instead of having to worry about something else. But Alliance still taking their time with the last ban here, and the Bristle would have been really sick actually if they could have gotten their hands on it, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case. We'll have to see what the Alliance want to do. They could still go back for something like a PA, but PA is a bit squishy in terms of what basically Unknown has right now.
I'm going to do the final ban there onto the Outworld Devourer, so assuming that it is going to be the Shashlo Beastmaster again.
They think they haven't picked the mid yet.
Yeah.
They think it's offlane BM. Well, I guess we're going to find out here. I thought they would pick like Tide and go Beastmaster mid, or maybe even like aggro tri-lane.
I mean, I think I'm more opting towards it being a Beastmaster mid. I mean, we've seen Arise play Beastmaster against the Quap before, and even though Quap as strong as she is, Arise seems to always do okay on the Beastmaster.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Like, even against Queen, you're going to find your farm with your wild axes. You can stack creep camps even. With the board, you can control the runes. There are a lot of good things about putting that Beastmaster in middle lane. But they could be worried about the Beastmaster getting charged, because a dagger and a charge is kind of like a dead hero. So they're going to be pretty reliant on supports, on basically Unknown to be in a good position if that Spirit Breaker is going to start being a nuisance, which I'm sure it will, as most Spirit Breakers can be. Basically Unknown looking still for their last hero here.
Indeed, yeah, this is almost going to certainly spell what we're going to expect to see in terms of off-laner and mid-laner. I mean, still for the side, I'm trying to think back, any kind of heroes that Shashlo's played that also could be picked up for the off-lane role.
I still think Tide is great, but you just want something that controls the fight a little bit. And since Clockwork had already been taken up by Alliance, that would have been the next best thing, in my opinion. Like, Clockwork and Gyro synergize great together. Like, you get a good cog into call down, that would have been a sick combo had they managed to get their hands on it. But I think just going for the method of team fight is going to be pretty good for basically Unknown, since their pick potential is already pretty good with just having a Beastmaster and having the Hawk out. And Disruptor is great when you get your glimpse up to max level. You can just use that as a form of initiation when you spot somebody out, and the synergy between the vision of the Hawk and the Beastmaster in general is great. Might even see them take the path of was it Alliance who ran Bounty, or was it Navi? It was Navi, right?
Navi, Fennec Bounty, yeah, we had the Fennec Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, Bounty would be pretty cool as well.
I mean, also maybe the possibility to pop Beastmaster if they wanted to do it in the offlane and pick up something like the Arise Zeus, or even the Dragon Knight is still available in the pool. Yeah,
DK wouldn't be too bad. It's an instant stun against Spirit Breaker, and during the late game with Magic Immunity, they would have very few methods of dealing with it. Whoa, Timber, okay. Yeah, that's a good burst hero. Good against Wisp. Actually demolishes Wisp. Yeah, you know. There were a lot of potential picks here. The Timber, very high burst damage. It's good, I think, during the laning phase especially, because against Spirit Breaker Wisp, it's still kind of hard to harass him. And he did just receive a small buff. His armor now stacks in 5s instead of 4s. So instead of it being like 8 armor at level 2, it's 10, 5 at level 1, etc. So he's a little bit more durable to the right click. And the laning phase for Alliance, if it's a support Spirit Breaker, they will have a bit of a difficult time, I think, dealing with that Timber.
Yeah, this final pick now for the side of Alliance. It's going to be Loda's hero almost certainly. Most of the heroes you pair up with IO are strength-based, and maybe they're going to think twice about that against the Timbersaw, and they are. They're going to pick up the Slark for Loda instead.
Okay. I mean, Slark is... He's kind of known as a weak laner, and we just had a conversation with Illidan earlier, who is arguably like the best Slark, because he's played it so often.
Yep.
And he mentioned how the hero kind of needs like 15 minutes. You don't want to really be bothered at all in your laning phase. You just want to be left alone, farm your Midas, farm your Shadowblade, and then you start coming to team fights. So maybe Alliance are looking to create some space here with the Spirit Breaker combo of the Queen and the Clockwork. So Loda can find that farm, but are basically Unknown going to go with a dual off lane? That's what I'm wondering, because Timber +1 would actually be a huge nuisance to the safe lane of Alliance.
Oh, who are you imagining that they send with them? Either the Witch Doctor Disrupt, who would be better on the aggressive with the Timber?
I guess Witch Doctor would probably be better to keep him alive.
Yeah.
And then Disruptor Gyro in the safe lane, you could probably go for kills once a Disruptor gets some levels. It could also be that Alliance just go mid with Slark and Wisp. They could try to control the runes, put the Queen of Pain solo top, and then have the Spirit Breaker roaming around and Clockwork off lane. We'll see.
Yeah, that's actually quite a good call there, and it looks like that might be the case. Yeah, they're going to try and avoid putting the Slark and the IO against the Timbersaw, and they're going to put Pycat in the safe lane on the quad by looks of it for the time being. But ladies and gentlemen, we are here into the second game of the second series of today. Basically Unknown versus Alliance. Alliance, of course, took the first game very convincingly. It was a 17-minute GG for the side. But let's see what we've got going on today in this match here. The ASUS ROG DreamLeague Season 3 with myself, ODPixel, and of course Draskell. On the side of the Radiant, we're going to have a Rise on his mid lane Beastmaster. Nico's going to be on that position 1 gyrocopter. He's going to be supported up by both Stamanen on the Witch Doctor and Pure Evil on the Disruptor. And finally, down in this solo safe lane by the looks of it, so they are, they're kind of dodging it a little bit. Shashlo going to be on the Timbersaw. And Draskell, what are we seeing coming out from the lane so far from Alliance?
All right, well, first we're going to have Ake. It's going to be handling that Wisp. Loda is going to be playing the position 1 Slark, walking uphill here, just doing some scouting.
Loda?
That's a lot of damage.
Loda.
Body block.
He's got the pounce, but showing no fear there.
A little bit scary. In the meantime, Magicka is going to be playing on that Spirit Breaker, Pycat handling the Queen, and then Bulldog is going to be playing Clock.
And Shashlo is going to show himself down here, so they now are aware that Timbersaw is going to be on the bottom lane, and I think that's given them the intel they wanted. Now, Bulldog, he's not going to go down to that lane. They're going to send him up to the top lane to deal with the aggressive tri-lane of basically Unknown, and they're going to put Magicka and Pycat down on the bottom lane. Yeah,
I like the idea of putting Loda mid here. It's against a Beastmaster, and even if they wanted to rotate lanes, I guess the best thing they can do is just do what they're doing now and have Stamanen come mid on the Witch Doctor and try to harass that way. Slark, not really the best laning hero. If you can steal some stats, you might be able to go for a kill on a support, but they are going to jump in.
Yeah, the cast is going to be there between both Loda and Ake, but again, it's always going to be a little bit tricky to bring down anything comboed with an Aya.
The Slark during the early and mid game, I think, is going to struggle a tiny bit, but if Alliance can make any room for him at all, during the late game, he is an absolute monster. You can't really ever kill him unless you get a good roar or you manage to get the Disruptor to glimpse him into a Static Storm, and that would require basically Unknown to be playing from ahead, because the late game Disruptor can be kind of scary if he gets to Aghanim.
Shashlo comes a bit too far up the lane, it kind of feels. He has got a point in reactive armor, but Magicka's got a point in Bash. He's looking for it. Where's your Bashes? Come on. It's 17% blink forward from Pycat. Wants to find the kill. There'll be a healing southpaw. One more right click will do it. No, the poison damage ticks him off there, and Pycat will find the first blood there.
He even used a salve, so that really hurts him to die that way. Like he lost a ton of regen because of it, and he's still level 1, no experience at all. Bulldog managed to get level 2. Things are already going well for Alliance here.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the way that they've reacted to the lanes that basically Unknown have, I mean, it kind of feels that the lanes are just going to be a little bit stronger for Alliance. Maybe the mid lane is going to be the most lackluster, with the fact that, as you said, Slark, not the strongest laning hero.
Unfortunately, he has a Wisp and Ake. All right, good tether. Gets himself out of harm's way. But that was very close. I mean, the Beastmaster is 9-1, and the Slark is 6-1, so it's not like totally lopsided, and it's enough. Like, as long as the other lanes are doing well, I don't think that Loda is going to be too concerned about not totally free farming.
Indeed, I mean, the other lanes in terms of farm, you've got Nico at the moment, top of the board, 12 for 4 on this Gyro. There's going to be a rotation towards the mid lane now. Loda getting tethered up by Ake. They're going to look for the pounce. There's going to be Magicka leading in here with the Bash, but he's a little bit too close to the tower rise for Loda to want to dive in on that yet.
Yeah, he didn't have any health, didn't have any regen either. Ake just got his bottle charges back, so maybe they'll try to play a little bit more aggressive after that. And it's also really important to note for Magicka that his charging can equalize the middle lane, whereas off lane, Timber versus Queen, he's not needed here. So he can just rotate to whatever lane he wants to. And are they really going to go this hard?
Oh, it looks like he wants to go straight in onto Shashlo, but Shashlo now with the Whirling Death, bursting Magicka low. Will take a fair few tower hits here. Pycat will reset the aggro onto himself, and Magicka will be able to get himself out. But all in all, very ballsy play from Alliance.
They just realized that wherever the Spirit Breaker goes, they're going to have a good chance for a kill. And they can force the enemy team back, like, no matter what happens.
Top lane, there's going to be a missile closing in on Bulldog, but at the end of the day, he's just kind of pulling Nico away from the lane. They're not going to be able to find the kill. Mid lane, Stamanen going in there with the right clicks onto Ake. Ake will tether himself back over to Loda here in the mid lane. 14 for 2 at the moment on your Slark, and indeed, still a Rise on the Beastmaster, definitely winning the lane. But as we said, kind of expected with the performances we've seen from Arise in this tournament.
Yeah, it's not a landslide victory, and no. I think the important part is what Arise is able to do with his level 6. Like, how many ganks is he going to be able to secure? Can he scout out the Slark effectively enough with the Hawk to be able to go for kills? And they'll throw out a cask, but Leap coming out from Loda will keep him safe.
There's going to be a charge straight onto Arise now from the base here, so it isn't going to be spotted out by anything from the side of Basically Unknown. Can they do anything off the back of it? Loda's pretty low. Is Mag going to commit to this charge? He's still following through here onto the Arise Beastmaster, and well, we'll go with the bash. Maybe see if he can steal the 4-minute rune. Nah, he's going to turn and back himself off. Doesn't want to hang around here. And Beastmaster, Arise will be able to find himself a bounty rune. Bottom lane, AK gets himself a haste.
Oh, they want to go on the Switch Doctor. He misses, though.
He misses the pounce. The Tether Slow will be there. Loda, well, he goes down. He's dead, and the cask bounces.
What? All right, that was crazy.
Alliance don't find anything there, and Magicka just getting himself harassed back out of the lane. That was not the play there for Alliance, and well, Axes fly a little bit too short there. Won't catch anyone, but still, Loda going down in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's the reason why previously when Magicka charged mid and he backed off because he had less than like 40% health, Slark actually explodes when he goes in. So Arise gonna take a leash here.
Indeed, as we see Loda going in for round 2. Magicka with the charge as well, looking for the bashes. Where's the bashes? The axe flies through. Bullet bringing everyone down really low. In fact, Loda, he's going to look for more here, going on to Witch Doctor. And with the tethering from Ake, he'll be able to keep himself alive this time. Only just, though. So even though they do lose Loda, they come back into the lane and they find both Arise and both Witch Doctor as well.
It's a really big turnaround. Like going in YOLO, like Loda did the previous time. I understand that your Spirit Breaker's charging in and you want to try to follow it up, but just got a bit overzealous. So Alliance able to equalize a little mistake they had earlier. And all the lanes, like right now, this Timber is 9 CS. Like Shacklo is having a terrible time against Queen, and it's kind of expected. Timber doesn't really do great in this matchup.
And it's Pycat Quap.
Yeah, exactly. He loves those lane bully heroes.
And we're kind of getting to the point where it is past that rocky patch for Loda on the Slark. He's halfway to hitting level 6, and obviously once you've hit 6, it's going to be very hard to kind of catch you out unless you commit quite a bit from the side of Basically Unknown. It's going to be a charge here from Magicka, going straight for the Timbersaw on the bottom lane, and Shashlow's pretty damn low here. He's got 1 pole charge to his name, 2 points in the reactive armor. Pycat blinks forward as well, with a quick scream. They will indeed burst down Shashlow here on the Timbersaw. There's going to be a TP coming in, and well, it's actually cancelled there because the TP out was there from Pycat, getting himself back to base.
And not really enough happening in the early game here for Basically Unknown. And one of the biggest weaknesses, I think, for a Timber is not getting a good lane matchup. So if you're against a strength hero, like anything really, and it's melee, you're going to have a pretty good time. But if you get against any lane bully, playing behind from a Timber, your damage is still going to be there, but your survivability is totally lacking. Like, he's not going to have a Bloodstone. He's not going to have much of anything. I mean, the guy barely, I think, can afford boots at this point. Does he even have him on the courier? No, he doesn't have any money at all. So not having boots 6.5 minutes in, yeah, you're level 5, but the impact from this hero I don't think is going to be that great for a while.
Loda, what's he got coming out to him in the mid lane here? He's got something on the way out, is it? It's going to be the finished treads now. So now with the treads complete and level 6, it's like getting to the point where if he's got the backup of something like an IO, he could certainly look to bully someone down. In top lane, we see Pycat going on to Nico. He will be glimpsed back, did get the Sonic Wave out. And Ake, he's just trying to deal with Nico. There's going to be a hook shot from Bulldog as they do find the kill onto Nico, baby. Arise with the Ron to IO, will blow him up. And now Shashlo with the rotation. They've been able to find the kill onto the Clockwork as well. Pycat will be able to blink himself out. 2-for-1 trade there, and Basically Unknown coming out on top very much.
A nice reaction, just immediately TPing up there, just being in the right spot at the right time. Allows them to get 2 there. The Wisp still level 5 at around 7 minutes, so Ake is still having a decent game, even with that death. And now the Slark being level 6, he can also just start to farm like a monster. He's going to max out the Dark Pact, I can only imagine. And he'll probably pick up Aquila to start off-map farming, and then they can just relocate into any engagement.
Soldiers down on the bottom lane, thrown out to Magicka, and indeed Nico now avoiding that top lane now that Pycat's hanging about and looking to farm down bottom because it's a lot safer. Top lane is not safe. Pycat blinks in onto poor old Pure Evil and blows up the Disruptor.
Yeah, not the ideal place to be, but he's trying to get 6, so it makes sense that he would be there solo. They're just trying to prioritize him getting that Static Storm going because that's going to be so useful against Slark. Like, if you get a glimpse into a Storm, it can just be the end of the Slark, even if you pop your Shadow Dance, because you're still going to be stuck in there, as it's ground targeted, and you can't get through the kinetic field anyway. I think they fixed the bug, right? Where you could, like...
Or spam an item, or
spam a Force Staff, and then just, like, walk through.
I'd hope so.
Yeah, I think they did fix that by now. Hopefully. And that way this will for sure be stuck. And the other thing too, charge bottom.
Magicka indeed charging straight front to Nico, and the backups they're going to be from Pycat. Cooldown will come down, but I don't think it's going to be enough even with the Rocket Barrage to bring anyone down. They're trying to chase it, and in fact the slow was enough to keep Magicka back from the Nico. And now Shashlo and Pure Evil coming in with the the kinetic field, and then with the double kill from Witch Doctor. Bulldog comes in with the hook shot, but he might pay off his life for the slow from the Chakram, and now the glimpse back into the Death Ward. It's going to be a triple kill for Stamanen here on the Witch Doctor. And Alliance just getting outplayed there.
That was pretty optimistic. Like maybe if the Wisp had been 6 when that fight started, they would have been able to go for kills. But Ake just got his relocate as the fight pretty much came to a close. So maybe they were expecting a little bit more of a reaction.
Does he want to try and blur up Ake? He's going to give it a shot here with the axes. With the roar, one more punch will do it.
He actually has max axes. Usually Beastmasters don't go for the max axe build. They just go for a max Boar and Hawk. But that burst.
It paid off there indeed, and well, 7-6, basically Unknown, certainly closing the gap that Alliance had created in the earlier portions of the game, and well, things kind of getting back to square one in terms of evenness between the teams. There's going to be a charge onto Nico at the bottom lane. There's the back of a Bulldog, but Pure Evil's there. He's going to drop down the kinetic field. The Bashes, where's the Bashes? No, there's going to be a Static Storm and a cooldown onto Magicka. Magicka, he might go down. He knows he's able to get himself away with the Sonic Wave. They're actually turning this one around, Alliance. Lotus found himself a double kill. He's now going to look to take a triple kill from Witch Doctor. He won't find it because Queen of Pain, Pycat is able to peep the Witch Doctor. Now they're going to look for more Bleak Forward from Pycat. Look at that, Magicka charging in. He's got no fear, sitting on less than 100 HP. They do lose Bulldog, but it will secure the triple kill for Loda. 4 heroes falling down in total on the side of basically Unknown. And top lane, Ake doing a little bit of fancy footwork here with Shashlo, trying to duke out the damage from the Timbersaw, and he will be okay. But, well, after basically Unknown take a very nice fight, Alliance just comes straight back at them and deal double the aggression.
Yeah, the first relocate gank was wildly successful. They just get so much from being able to go in there, and now they want to try to charge onto this Timbersaw top lane.
Where's your Bashes? Come on, there's the Nether Strike, and well, looking for a bash here. Well, he's just going to blow him up anyway there with the Spirits. Ake on the IO being credited for that kill. That's another kill there for the side of Alliance. 11-8 now.
I think we're just going to see non-stop aggression. I mean, it could just be from either team at this point. Like, there is Book 1 now picked up on a Rise, so it's only around 11 minutes in. He'll have his Book 3 timing, I'm sure, at around like 16, 17 minutes. You're going to see a smoke as well. They want to try to catch out someone.
Towards the mid lane, Loda. He does have the Primal Roar back available. Pure Evil's there with the Static Storm still on cooldown. Hound's Disruptor's got his Static Storm again. Let's have a look. Nice, he's there now. So if they catch anyone out, I mean, with the Roar and the Static Storm on top, you're pretty much killing anyone.
We call that super dead.
Yeah. Let's see who they're going to be up to super dead here on the bottom lane. We've got Bulldog. Bulldog maybe coming out a little bit too much. He's got to be careful with his positioning. And the
Disruptor just gave away his vision with Flare.
Well, they're still going to get the glimpse into the kinetic field. There's going to be a missile flying through as well, and with the Primal Roar, the Death Ward, the Axes as well, there's no escaping there for Bulldog as Stamanen getting himself another. Let's have a look at the kills on this Witch Doctor so far, because he is having an absolute game. Yeah, 5 for 2 at the moment on the guy.
Well, he did get pretty lucky getting that triple kill bottom. Like, I think he got a couple of auto attack kills, and then he got Death Ward like during the fight, and then dropped it to get the last kill. It's pretty insane, but basically Unknown pushing into the tier 1 off lane. I don't know if Alliance are going to react right away. Maybe they're just waiting for Bulldog to be alive.
Indeed, basically trying to get a bit of aggression here on this bottom lane, but at the same time, space kind of be created for Alliance. Loda and Pycat, they are still at the top of the individual net worth. 5.6k on your Slark, 4.6k on your Quap. And it's going to be a charge here onto Nico. Shashlo positioning himself very aggressively here. He'll get caught by the drive-by bash. Nico does get the cooldown down. Static Storm thrown as well, trying to stop them from chasing down, but Bulldog with a hook shot onto Shashlo. Shashlo, he's able to timber chain out. Pycat, he's found the kill onto Disruptor. Are they going to be able to find anything more here, Alliance? A Rise on the Beastmaster will TP out. He will be able to get away. Pycat chasing this one down. Chakram flies through. There's your Scream. It's a double kill for Pycat as he also finds the Gyrocops on top of the Disruptor. Magicka finds the Nether Strike. He'll be able to blow up also the Witch Doctor. Shashlo trying to timber chain himself out of this, but Pycat with a final right click there finds himself a triple kill on the Queen of Pain 13 minutes in.
Yeah, the call down on the Static Storm now were just complete whiffs. Like, they did almost nothing. I mean, when you have 2 big teamfight ultimates that are dropped and they don't really accomplish anything, you kind of have to run. The problem is running away from Alliance's draft. You have Clockwork Hook, you have Queen Blink, Slark with a Wisp, and a Spirit Breaker. good luck running away. Like, you're just going to get chased down no matter what happens.
I mean, and the scary thing, of course, all this was happening whilst Loda was just farming.
Yeah, there's a really big problem with basically Unknown if they take the poor team fight is they don't have an evacuation plan. Like, all their heroes, maybe outside of the Timber, can be killed very easily and chased down as well. So always need to be careful.
Magicka now with the Glimmer Cape on the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge issue. Like, if you Glimmer... Actually, can you Glimmer while you're charging him? I think you can, actually.
Yeah, you should
I've never actually tried it because I never got the item on that hero.
Think it works like Shadow Blade.
Yeah,
there we
because
go.
it's an invis item, so it doesn't break
with
channel.
The true knowledge bombs here.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a little bit too short there, Shashler.
Oh, they do have a ward in lane. Maybe they'll still be able to catch him. Yep.
Oh yeah, the Glimpse indeed catching out Magicka, and well, he's brought into a whole world of pain here with the saws, with the chains, with everything, cutting down that cow, and well, he's nothing but a stake now. 28 seconds on the clock now for Magicka.
Alliance still with the Spirit Breaker, I think are going to be feeling fairly confident. The Slark is getting more and more ahead. Like, I think he has a Shadow Blade on the way, on top of his Midas and his Treads. So, yep. 14.5 minutes, Midas Shadow Blade Treads, not bad.
That's pretty good farm here for Loda.
Yeah. And that's in a lane where basically Unknown contested his farm for a little while as well with the Beastmaster and Stomanons, which they're both there. And he still is able to get like 95 CS in a 14-minute game and have 6 kills contributed to him.
Mid lane on the side of Alliance, both Pycat and Bulldog hanging about. And top lane, Loda being backed up here by Ake, and he might want to go in here with the Shadow Blade straight onto Stoman, and there's going to be a charge coming in as well, but Loda's getting pretty low here. The Death Ward doing some serious damage to Ake, and Ake will actually go down here. Loda did find the kill onto Stoman, but now Pure Evil and Shaflo, they've found him. Loda, he'll pounce over, but the glimpse is there. He gets caught here in the kinetic field, and Loda will go down. It's a 2-for-1 trade, favoring the side of basically Unknown, but the fight, it might not be over here. Pycat in the tree lines. Is he going to go on to Pure Evil? There's going to be a Static Storm catching out Pycat. He does walk himself out of it, will still be able to blink out. The missile will follow through here, and now Shashlo chasing this one down across the ravine with the Timber Chain. Magicka is there to back up Pycat if he needs it. Pycat, he's going to play the Glimmer Cape there from Magicka. Very nice little play, and they might want to go back in. Bulldog here with a very nice hook shot that's going to break up the entire fight. Pycat with the Sonic Wave onto 2. It kills Disruptor. There's going to be the follow-up charge from Magicka onto Shashlo. There's one bash. He's going to need another one. Shashlo is still alive. Throws the Chakram back. In comes Ake here with the Spirits to find the kill onto Shashlo. Ake tethering up Magicka, trying to keep him alive against the Rocket Barrage of Nico. It's not enough, and Nico, he's going to look for the IO as well. It's going to be a double kill for Nico as he takes down both the Space Cow and the IO. And well, is that it? Are we going to see anything more? Rise moving in. He has got the Primal Roar available, but Bulldog here with the cogs, with the classic cog block, will be able to get himself out. Pycat's still hanging around here. Hawk will spot him out. No, the Hawk is dead. He gets blown up by the Rocket Flare. And Pycat just chilling by the Ancients. The Bulls here. Stoman, and he's in a bit of trouble because Loda coming in with the Shadow Blade will bring down the Witch Doctor. 19-14 now, as well, both sides really amping up the aggression.
Yeah, they just want to fight non-stop, but we kind of expected that with their lineups. Like Spirit Breaker, Slark, Clockwork, and Queen with a Wisp, you definitely want to fight. And having Beastmaster Vision with a Disruptor, being able to just pull people so far back out of position to be able to get counter kills is also very good. And Static Storm against the Slark in general just means that basically Unknown do have methods to deal with Alliance's aggression. It's just a matter of who gets the jump and who plays better during the team fights. Oh, middle lane.
Indeed, Loda. He's found himself a Rise, pops the Shadow Dance. There's nothing a Rise can do to stop that. Loda hacks away, finds himself a kill. We'll get Glimpse back, but it doesn't look like there's going to be any control from the side of Unknown to follow that one through.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really... If they don't have the Disruptor, like, there at that point, there's no way you're ever going to be able to kill him. He needs to just get a Thunder Strike out before he either goes Invis or before Shadow Dance.
I mean, 17 minutes in, Pycat, he's less than 500 gold from a Scythe.
He's got some farm. He had a very easy lane, though. Can't forget that.
Against the
Timber. He was against Timber. It's so easy for Queen to play that.
Some impressive stuff coming out from both sides, in fact. But Alliance at the moment just kind of taking the biscuit with the amount of item pickups and the amount of farm they've got as well. 9.5k on Loda. He's been having an absolutely fantastic game. And now on top of the Shadow Blade with the point booster, trying to work towards that Scardian. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see that come very shortly after the 20-minute mark, especially if he's able to find more kills as he has been so far.
It just seems like Alliance have the leg up on map control, on farm, on team. Are a little bit favored, so Again, really solid draft tutor coming out from Magicka.
Loader coming in with the Shadow Blade. He's looking for a rise. Is he going to be able to make the jump? He's going in. No.
Come on. No, he has vision of the right-hand side of the cliff, so he just doesn't want to get hit by the disruptor, so he goes back instead. That's actually the right decision. Like, if he went in, there was a good chance he could have died there.
Yeah, I mean, look at the map at the moment. All the heroes on the side are basically unknown, just heading straight towards both Loader and Ake here on the top lane. Now they're going to head away. They do notice that they've gone a little bit too far back for them to catch out. And Pycat, yeah, that's your scythe on him before the 19-minute mark.
Good God, that is some serious farm. The fact that he already has, of all the items, a scythe. Like, even Orchid's not as bad as the enemy having a scythe so early, because it also means that you can't BKB, like, even if you're going to be building into one, which the Gyro is going, like, first item BKB. So if he gets Blink Hexed, he can just explode before he's able to do much of anything. And the same thing can be said for heroes like Timber. It's one thing to be silenced, but if you really can't move away at all because of the Hex reducing your movement speed, it's kind of tough.
Top lane now, Loader with 2.2k gold and pushing on towards this tier 2 here. I mean, what is the plan of action now for basically on there?
Oh, they can defend pretty well. Like, they have Witch Doctor, Death Ward, they have Call Down, they have a lot of AoE and Burst. They just really need to try to make sure they get either the Queen or the Slark down as like one of the first priority targets. You get a good Static Storm, you get a good Kinetic Field or a Roar on top of that, and they can easily burst. They just need to make sure the Timber is there to follow up, and the Death Ward is there on top of that. And if they can do that, I think they have a chance. But in terms of playing out on the map right now, it's way too dangerous with Loda already having a Shadow Blade. Like, they have sentries everywhere on basically unknown, at least near their tier 2s and a little bit inside of the jungle. But if they really push out of lanes, they're playing totally blind against the Slark, and that is terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, we can see at the moment just the side of basically unknown, very much keeping themselves grouped up, not wanting to get caught out at all. Giving themselves all towards the mid lane, whereas on the side of Alliance, you've got Loda and Ake at the moment, kind of rotating around the mid lane. Ake's going to be left on his own, Loda's going to head up to the top lane, and the rest of the side of Alliance rotating towards this bottom lane, trying to find themselves potentially a tier 2 if they want to try and push it. But basically unknown now with the smoke up, heading into their own jungle. Are they going to be able to catch anyone out here? There was a blink back to safety from Pycat. Still in their own jungle, there's both Magicka and Bulldog, but they're going to head straight towards the mid lane instead. Maybe seeing if they can catch out Pycat with a Roar here, and Pycat could be in trouble. There's your Roar into Death Ward. Pycat,
relocate!
Very Roar!
He got him back to base, and the tether broke because of the glimpse, so they're both going to live. Holy... Okay, well, Ake might not live, but he saved Pycat for sure.
Ake might be able to tether to someone, might he? Bulldog's coming in as well, trying to create the fight as Neeko with the cooldown. Ake will go down. The Sonic Wave, the catching 3, Scythe onto Neeko. Neeko will be able to block the one-shots and the BKB, keeping himself alive, but there's a Nether Strike onto Neeko, holding him in place. It will go down there to the final touch from Loda. It's a double kill for your Slark. 3 heroes down on the side of basically unknown. Alliance, they've only lost the IO. Arise will TP himself out. Witch Doctor trying to TP as well. Loda, he's not going to quite have the damage, and Witch Doctor will get out, but what a relocate.
Yeah, that was insane. Very fast reaction there from Ake. I think a lot of players would have probably just let him die because he didn't react fast enough. I think he got out at like, what, 10% health? Something like that?
Very low.
And I mean, when you dump everything into one hero that gets relocated, you can't fight anymore.
Yeah.
Like, they dropped, I think, Call Down, they dropped Roar, Death Ward, all on top of Pycat, hoping that they would get that kill. And it just didn't happen. So he was able to TP back in to the team fight after the relocate brought him out, and that was it.
And I mean, 22 minutes in, Loda now with a completed Skadi on its way.
Yeah.
Midas and Shadowblade Treads.
It's tough. It is very, very tough to deal with the Slark, and this is the kind of timing that you want, though, because once you get to this item, or these items, you have like Skadi Shadowblade, and even Midas on top. Like, just having a Skadi Shadowblade would have been good enough, but he also has Midas. So it's not even as if delaying the game is going to do basically unknown any favors. And he already has level 3 into his Shadow Dance, so his regen and his bonus movement speed are putting him almost at the movement speed cap. And during team fights, he's just going to hit so hard. Like, the longer the fights take, the better off the Slark is going to be if he doesn't get immediately bursted down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Arise, how was he doing? He was on his way to the third level of his Necro book last time we checked. Let's have a look how he's doing on the Beastmaster. Okay, he's got in. He's got 1k towards what I can imagine to be the Blink Dagger top lane. Magicka with a charge onto Stillman, and there's a relocate as well as the entire cavalry comes in. Loader and Ake are there to watch Magicka disassemble the Witch Doctor. And Nico and Shashlo thinking about going into this one. There's going to be a missile onto Ake, but of course he just relocates back out, and well, the missile is going to maybe see what's going to scout out that they're doing Roche as it flies across the map. But Roshan's going to fall fairly quickly here to the side of Alliance. Here we go. No.
It was nice of Ake to move out of the pit so they didn't just immediately scout the Roche.
Ake just takes that one to the face. And yeah, Loader Bulldog at less than half health now on Roshan. Side of basically, no, they look for a tier 1. They realise that they're not going to be able to really contest Roche at this point.
Yeah, Pycat even kills the solo safe lane tower though. Like, I don't know, man. This trade is all basically no one can do, but it's still not even a good trade. Like a tier 1 for a tier 2 safe and Roshan, when the enemy team could potentially end the game with an Aegis right now. I don't know.
It's going to be hard for basically Unknown.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Now,
does the
Slark finish up a Silver Edge, or does he go for BKB? I think BKB is the game-ending item. Like, just go high ground with BKB and Aegis and just be like, yep, can't stop us, we're going to kill your base. But a Silver Edge will allow him to delay the game a bit more. It is still inventory efficient, because the recipe cost is only 325. So if he stacks 2 items together, it's still very, very nice. And I guess you can disable, like, reactive armor. You can disable... Does it disable auras as well? Like Beastmaster aura? I guess it is a passive, technically.
Yeah, because it's passive, it would shut down the aura, yeah.
But it's like... It's not really that spectacular.
Nah. I mean, you're probably killing a Rise anyway, or not. They do find Bulldog, but Bulldog gets the hook shot out to the bottom lane onto Pycat. And it's going to be...
Ake relocated to try to save him. He has Invis, though. He's going to pop the Invis rune. There is a book 3 down, so I don't think this is going to save him. I think he just rips all over the place right now.
Oh,
are you serious? No, they glimpsed him to base. It was too soon. Oh. No. Oh, God. The reverse stream.
XD.
I mean, if he didn't glimpse him soon, he was going to get out of range. So he kind of had to.
So.
God, they even give him the Salt Shaker and the Horse Face. That's just BM. You never drop both of those in conjunction.
No,
that's like...
Yeah, let's give it a few seconds before.
Yeah.
But maybe that's it. Maybe that is going to trigger something on basically Unknown, and they're just going to turn around.
Is going to start smashing some heads now. It's time.
Then, you know, I don't know. It was the Silver Edge that Loader goes for in the end on the slide.
Yeah, I mean, he's very far ahead.
Shashlo might be in a bit of trouble here. His Timber Chamber's a little bit too short. Throws out the Chakram, pops his charges. Loader's actually not going to go for it. He sees her eyes coming in and doesn't want to get a roar to the face.
Yeah, that's good. Not wasting the Aegis. They can use that for a tower push still. So got, what, like 4 minutes left? 3 minutes left?
Glimpse onto Pycat into the Static Storm kinetic field. Pycat is going to have the backup of Ake, and Ake just relocates him out. Magicka committing with the charge here onto Pure Evil. Loader's already finished off a Rise. Magicka and Bulldog, they'll be able to kill Disruptor as well. And Shtaman on the Witch Doctor simply TPs out. And yeah, there's a Lincoln Sphere now complete on Pycat as well as the Cypher Fox.
Every time Ake gets a relocate like that, when a hero gets dumped on by abilities, it's just the fight is immediately lost. Because both heroes are going to be coming back in around 10 seconds. If he always relocates Pycat, the other heroes are too hard to kill.
Drop to Shashlo, Loader goes in. There was a Timber Saw there, I promise, Andy.
At one point.
Nico turning it around, or potentially trying to, with the cooldown with the BKB, but Pycat just blinks himself away. There's a Death Ward there on the high ground, but it seems to be purely there for aesthetic means.
Yeah, I don't really know what basically Unknown can do. I really have no idea. Like, how do they fight the Slark who's so farmed? Like, they weren't able to really stop him. Even in the laning phase where they do a dual lane versus a dual lane, it wasn't enough. Bottom lane got totally just wrecked. And even though Bulldog, he soaked some pretty good experience in his lane, he didn't have to do well this game. Like, sure, he had some pretty good hooks and his teamfight contribution overall was decent. It's just that they weren't relying on him to win his lane. They're just like, yep, just soak what you can. And during the mid game, you can just land a hook shot or two and it'll be fine because our Slark is just huge.
There's going to be a glimpse onto Loader here. Nico, he's kind of like, why did you have to glimpse him back onto me? And Nico will go down. Loader now on an unstoppable kill streak. A monster kill streak for Pycat. There'll be a buyback from Nico trying to get set back in the fight. It's going to be a nice cooldown. Catches all 4 of them. Can they do anything off the back of this? Well, Loader pounces himself. Admiral Bulldog, he's been tethered up and healed up by Ake. And Alliance will be able to disengage after finding those 3 kills and obviously forcing the buyback out of Nico Baby. Pycat Well, he
They want to go back in.
Takes the missile to the face there with the old Lincoln Sphere. He doesn't care at all. Loader indeed. Oh, paralyzing cask. Rise has not got the roar again. It's already been used.
Pycat casually almost killing himself there on the Necrominion.
Well, they've lasted a lot longer this game than they did in the first game.
Yeah, definitely. But this game, I think, was more of an outplay. I feel as though the draft was closer. It's just, it was obvious if the Slark got to a point where he had too many items, there was not really a whole lot of ways for basically Unknown to come back into the game. And maybe their laning phase wasn't quite what they wanted it to be. Maybe just put the Timber top against the Clockwork. But Alliance did scout out where the Timber was. And then they immediately changed their lanes to make sure that they got the lanes that they wanted. So they put Bulldog against the Timber Saw. So maybe that's what they wanted in the first place. Or no, excuse me, they put the Queen against the Timber Saw. Yeah, but basically on one of the Clockwork versus the Timber Saw, and they got the Queen instead. And that was why the lane went so bad. Yeah, it was the other way around. But still, yeah, Alliance looking pretty strong here in game 2.
Pretty strong indeed. 30 for 15. Let's have a look at the difference in net worth. We were getting it up early, and well, it's coming up to 30,000.
It's big.
In XP.
It's real big.
And 30, it is your old classic 1,000 a minute difference coming up.
Almost, yeah. Not quite, but almost.
Nearly. We're nearly there.
I mean, that's like having another hero or two worth of net worth on your team. That's how much more gold they have. Playing like a 6v5 or a 7v5 with how much money every hero has at this point.
Well, Stamanen on the Witch Doctor, he's close to his Aghanims.
Yeah, kind of, but is he going to be able to get there before the game ends? That's my question. Or do they just relocate and kill him now because he just showed himself in lane? Nope, they're not going to do it.
Oh, they're grouping up Alliance. They look to want to try and take this tier 2, the final tier 2 on the side of basically Unknown. Bulldog thinking about a hook shot. No, doesn't want to quite expend it yet. Doesn't want to dive that deep, and it's only got 2 points in it, so the range wouldn't have been there anyway. Still just sitting at level 12.
BKB Slark as well.
Ooh. So
now they literally cannot kill him.
I was going to say, how do you kill this Slark, Andy?
The only way you could kill the Slark is if you had an Aghanims on your Disruptor by the time he finishes up BKB, which very rarely is the case. So you have to find another way to try to turtle this out, but with the kind of farm advantage that Alliance have, I just don't see it happening. Like, they're either going to get another Roshan and Rax, or they're just going to win one team fight and it's going to be over. They're never letting up on the pressure. They're always pushing in the lanes of basically Unknown. It's not as if they have really good rat. They can't push out lanes on their own against a Wisp lineup, against a Hex Queen and a Spirit Breaker. Like, how do you push out lanes against this team?
Oh, there goes Magicka. He's going to look for a bit of solo action here on the bottom lane. There is a Beastmaster about, but he's pretty quick. And there's your relocating from Pycat and Ake. They're going to try and burst down Staman, and he does throw down the Death Ward. And with the bounces, Ake getting dangerously low here. He will pop. They did find the kill onto the Witch Doctor. Admiral Bulldog on the front lines, though, trying to block off Pure Evil from the rest of his team. And now Pycat comes in with the Cypher Vice and the Sonic Wave. He's able to blow up the Disruptor as well. It's a double kill here for Pycat, as he's able to, well, they're able to find something, even though they do trade Ake for it on the Aya.
Yeah, I think Ake didn't really have to die there. He was just maybe not expecting Stamanen to live quite as long as he did. And Pycat, I don't know if his ulti was off or on cooldown, but he did have it for the second kill, so maybe he was just expecting Ake to be able to live through the damage. Either way, though, Rax now being sieged. Both supports are going to be up in 10 seconds. I still don't know what basically Unknown can do to defend this. It's so difficult.
Yeah, throwing the axes out. There goes the cast towards Loader, but it won't bounce onto anyone. And indeed, that's going to be the mid-range Rax going down here on the side of basically Unknown.
And the thing about Slark at this point, not only do they not really have anything to lock him down, but even if you get him to like 10% HP, he'll be back in the fight in less than 20 seconds. Like, he'll go out, regen for maybe like 5-10 seconds, come back in, continue fighting. And the more Essence Shift stacks he gets, the harder he is to deal with because he deals more damage, gets more armor. And there's nothing really on basically Unknown that can deal with him outside the Kinetic Field and Aurora, or the Static Storm and Aurora. But now that he has BKB, even that's not enough. Because if you roar him and he has BKB on, sure, you're going to negate some of the duration of the magic community, but your Necro minions are not going to be mana burning him. So at the end of it, he'll just immediately Shadow Dance. And then you're still screwed. And now the Queen has a freaking refresher. 32 minutes in, Lincoln's Hex refresher and 1100 gold. The lanes, I think, just went too well for Alliance.
And to think they even banned Nature's Prophet this game.
They really, really did.
It wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Well, how is Bulldog doing anyway? How's he doing? Let's have a look. He's picked up the Perseverance, so what could he be going for himself here? Going for the old Lincoln Sphere on himself?
Maybe.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, Lotus Core is good as well.
But I'll be honest, out of the games we've casted, that's one of the items we very rarely see Lotus Orb. Is there a reason for that?
It's good against Beastmaster. It's really good against teams that have like single target ultimates. So like Bane, for example, it reflects Omni Slash as well, which is super clowny because then both heroes start omniing each other and it just looks ridiculous. But yeah, it is decent against things like Glimpse. You can stop a cast, you can stop a missile, a roar. It's a lot of things you can... is it called like Echo Shell or something, the active? I don't remember.
Oh yeah, Echo Shell's the active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I actually haven't seen it in a game before. No, that's Lincoln's, okay.
Pika going in with the Scythe onto Shtaman and Sonic Wave as well. Making quick work of the Witch Doctor, who's now dead for 40 seconds. Shasho comes in, but Pika goes out.
I'm surprised he didn't just refresh and like Hex and try to go for another kill. That is not really that tanky of a Timbersaw. He doesn't even have Bloodstone, so he's only got 1300 HP. Pycat's got like, well, 1700 on Int Shreds, so he is definitely tanky. But Roshan respawns now. Alliance going to be making their way towards the pit, potentially looking to use this to just straight up end the game. It is only second Rosh though, so there's not going to be a cheese.
And maybe with the Aegis, the side of Alliance will look to try and go for that potential GG push. As, I mean, obviously, basically, you know, they feel that there is still a potential. They're hanging themselves in. They want to look for the comeback. What is the key to finding the comeback? Is it blowing up Ake first in these fights? Is it controlling Loader? I mean, how could basically Unknown play around what Alliance have got at the moment?
Well, in a perfect world, you would be able to not only kill Ake and control Loda simultaneously, but also deal with the fact that they have a Refresher Hex Queen of Pain. Like, there's just too many items. That's the problem. Like, maybe if Pycat didn't have such a great start and an easy lane, that you would be able to just go with the old, yeah, we'll just kill the Wisp. That way he can't relocate out our target and we just go ham on the Slark. But in reality, there's a hook shot for counter initiation and a Queen with a Hex. So even if you get the jump on the hero that you want, there's no guarantee that Alliance won't just immediately counterplay it. I really do think that they're just too far behind. Like,
Witch Doctor's got his axe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if he gets like a full duration Aghadim's ulti off, he'll probably kill a few heroes. But that's also asking for a lot.
Now Loader with the Aegis here, heading up to the high ground, clearing out the balls, clearing out the creep wave, and now heading towards the tower. Kinetic Field will get dropped down, and there will be a glimpse here onto Loader, bringing him back. And not dropping the Static Storm as of yet. Just trying to harass down the Slark and try and keep him low. And there's your run out to Bulldog. Bulldog, is he going to go down here? Looks like he might do with the Blade Mail. The tether from Ake is not enough to keep him up. And now Nico trying to fight up through this, but Loader just pops the BKB. He's going to be able to kill Nico, baby. Now he turns his attention to Disruptor. It's a double kill for Loader. Now he goes for Shtaman on the Witch Doctor. Make that a triple kill. Now he's going for Shashlo. Shashlo getting brought low by the Sonic Wave. Loader will be held in place for the time being by the missile, but Pycat blinks forward to finish off the job onto the Timbersaw. Nico with his BKB trying to do what he can against Pycat. GG is called as Pycat is able to help Spirit Breaker bring down the Gyrocopter. GG, well played is called. 36.5 minutes in. As we said, well, basically, no, they managed to last 20 minutes longer than they did in the first game, but nonetheless, there's no taking away from the fact that Alliance are looking very, very strong.
Alliance were pretty much playing from ahead the entire game. Yeah. There was never a stage where I thought, yeah, okay, basically Unknown are now, they've reached this point where they have a good amount of momentum. Like, Arise didn't even finish a second item. Like, he had bot